Does your website need more traffic? Well, visit overflowcafe.com today. They make websites popular, and over 41,000 people use their service to gain more customers. They are winning at business. What about you? Visit overflowcafe.com today.
Hi, this is your girl T with Rockefeller's Barbershop, located at 1733 Babcock in San Antonio, Texas. Whether you're looking for a haircut, a shave, braids, dreads, weaves, color, we do it all here at Rockefeller's. You can hit me up at 210-884-9046. That's for call or text. And on Facebook and Instagram at Takesha Williams. That's TAKESHIA Williams. And you're listening to us now on I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio.
You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast special edition with your host, Shemaya Reed. This podcast is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. Now, let's tune in into today's podcast.
This is I Am Refocused podcast, and today we have an awesome show for y'all. But just before we get to our guests, I want to thank our sponsors. On top of the list, I want to thank Rico Rodriguez of Rockefeller's Barbershop, also Miss Kim of River City Donuts, Baby McClinton, All Sports Speed and Conditioning. Visit his website, allsportsfitness.net. And also, big shout out to D.W. Brooks Funeral Home. And last but not least, if your website needs more traffic, head over to overflowcafe.com. So to today's guest, we have an awesome music artist. He goes by Jamil Apostol, and we're going to talk about what's going down with music right now, what he's been up to lately. How you doing, Jamil?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Doing good, sir. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What inspired you to become a music artist?
Cool. So, I've been playing music for most of my life. As Victor Wooten says, we have music in us since we were in the womb. But as of recent, with this album, this new one, I was in a 7-piece group back when I was living in Reno, Nevada. Mm-hmm. And, we had an album and everything ready to go, but just due to circumstances of other people in the band having kids and still being in college, I decided to step away and go on this pretty much road trip across the country, which just lasted about a good couple of years, living on and off the road, and just decided to record an album out of it when I moved to Asheville, North Carolina last year. And here I am now back on the road and just playing music, touring, and having the time of my life.
And you, on your bio, it talks about how your purpose and is to help the masses to have a higher sense of consciousness and a greater sense of self-realization. Tell us a little bit about that. What's your mission for the audience when they hear your songs?
Right. I think my songs are more of a self-inquiry and diving deeper into question and to ask and to not look out into the external world, but more into the internal world, which basically results into manifesting your external world. It's kind of a paradox, but it's been working for me thus far. And just digging deeper, studying the text, studying religion, studying yourself. So that's kind of my message.
And when it comes to, you studying religion and all this higher power, what's some of the things that you find influence you as you're creating music?
What influences me? It's just that vibration that these certain people carry, and it's almost like being high but not high. They take you to the state that's almost really psychedelic, and it's really far out. And I can't explain to someone how let's say LSD feels like if they've never done it. So similarly, if let's say you try meditating or try chanting, and you feel the effect. So it's something worth looking into, in my opinion.
And when it comes to, you in the studio, what's the process like? Do you just show up and start listening to music and start writing, with your band? Take us through that process. What's some of the things that you can share with us with that?
Right. So for this album in particular, all the songs were written on the road, basically, as I was traveling different festivals, different cities. And, I would just open up my notes on my iPhone app and jot some things down that sounded pretty cool, some words that will come into mind, with no chords or anything. And then when I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, I figured I'd just put some chords into them, and melody follows suit right afterwards, and a song becomes made. And you just layer the song with other artists. I was blessed to meet and find awesome people in Asheville to jam out with and record with. But each song is different. Like, for example, my song, My Red, White Blues, half that song wasn't even complete until we were in the studio when they were like, all right, we're recording the song. And I just had to pretty much write it on the spot. So, yeah, it's always different.
And when it comes to your band that you have, how long have you guys been together?
Right, so that group I have in North Carolina, we were briefly a group for about 6 months, and I just had to get back on the road, but they couldn't tour, so at the moment I'm pretty much solo, but I'll come back to them, and we'll have a big old hoot once we're back together making music.
And your bio also talks about when you were traveling throughout the country, you were traveling with a monk. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how does that happen?
Right, so that was quite an experience. We were going festival to festival and spreading higher consciousness. And this term is called Krishna consciousness. That's another name for God. Mm-hmm. And it was this one point where we were just driving through California from the next place, and we would just talk about Krishna. And at this point, it was also during the Shiva Ratri night, which is the Shiva moon, we stopped at Long Beach, and right when we popped out of the car, it was as if I was high off of mushrooms, just talking about God. It was God intoxication, at the most intense I've ever felt it. And then also this one time I was at a festival and I met this other monk who said, hey, do you want to have a psychedelic experience sober? And I was like, heck yeah. So we had this eye-gazing meditation where we looked left eye to left eye. And after 15 to 20 minutes, it was as if all time froze and I could see his skin deteriorating and seeing every skin cell of his body, all his bones. It was like an Alex Gray painting, and just his flesh just slowly deconstructing. And just I saw that golden heart, that radiating love space, and I knew from that point that there was more to life than there is, and I've been pursuing ever since of what is true and what is real. So, yeah. And
say a listener's listening to this and maybe they don't know anything about this type of music, and they're asking, well, what does he mean? You can see skin deteriorating. Like, what's all that about? Tell us a little bit about, is it more metaphoric, or is it, just kind of educate us a little bit more about that.
Right. And like I said, this is self-realization. My realization will be different from yours. And so this is a process of you digging deep into your inner core and inner self. And, there are ways of tapping into that higher source. We will each have a different effect, but through my eyes, these were things that I saw, and it wasn't even metaphorical. It was real. And, someone could call me crazy, but that's what I experienced. That's what I'm sharing. And there are also many practices, through that eye gazing, what I was talking about, through meditation of, complete nothingness of the mind and digging deeper. If anyone's heard of Vipassana meditation, it's a 10-day retreat, silent retreat that I can also recommend, where you can dig deeper. And, the goal is not to attain any effects, but to simply just let it sit. And also the most powerful method I've been using is the chanting of mantras, which basically helps liberate the mind by just focusing on one word, syllable vibration. And it calms the mind and brings you to that higher state. In this regards, it's the Maha Mantra, which I've been using for the past 4 years now, which I've been following through, which is the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, it's taken me to India and all these other places that I never thought I would have been 4 years ago, just by following this pursuit.
And with all this that you're doing, what is the ultimate thing that you want the listener who takes in your art? What's one thing you just want to leave with the potential listener that takes your art in?
Right. It's, like I said, to dig deeper and to, have compassion for all souls. If you think about it, we are 99.99999% empty space. An atom is pretty much empty space. So, it's questioning what is holding everything together, this matter, this material world. And to just, dig deeper, dive in, and realize that we're all connected through this weird simulation that we are in right now.
and speaking of digging deeper, is this something that you, I guess I can say, tap into when you're in your zone, like creating music, the whole process? Or is it something that you actually do when you're just like driving on the road or, walking down the hallway? Like, how does that work?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Is this something that you get into like just while you're in the zone creating music, or is it just constant, like when you're driving down the road or, walking down the hall?
So it's always different. Sometimes my mind will wander, and I'll just be caught up thinking, oh, what am I going to do next? What am I going to eat next? What am I going to see next? But when you get back to that flow of to your practice, you start to realize that everything's going to be okay, and it's just liberating to not think sometimes, But it's the being as opposed to the doing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And do your friends and family members, do they get involved as well, or how do they kind of take this all in?
Right, I'm trying to tune them in, and a lot of my friends have been supportive of my vision and journey, so it's been good. I guess I can just only lead by example and see what happens from here.
and with your goals, like short-term goals, what's some of the things you would like to accomplish in the near future, like 3 months from now, with what you do with your art?
Right. I'd say to create more art, whether it be music videos, collaborating with other artists, and to be more organized in creating more of a tour all around the country and eventually around the world. And
And if you're just now tuning in, we are talking to Jamil Apostol, and we're talking about everything that he does. And for some of y'all, you may not know much about this type of music that he does, but that's why he's on today. Tell us a little bit about, after your song is out, we still got to do marketing. We still got to do all these things to get ourselves exposed to the world. How do you approach your own marketing system?
Right. It's quite a beast. Just sharing through the social media. Spotify has been the thing lately with music. So having to put Spotify links everywhere on my website. being able to engage with other artists and to, be at festivals. I think it's doing more of the footwork and putting the flyers out there, playing the music, and retaining that. At the moment, I've been focusing on the digital media aspect, but I'll be doing the footwork, live music stuff really soon. This weekend, actually, at High Sierra Music Festival.
Okay.
So that'll be fun.
And this festival, tell us a little bit about that. How can people get there, and is it where they can buy tickets, or how's that work?
Yeah, it's a festival in Quincy, California. It's folk music, bluegrass, world, and a little bit of everything in between. And I believe you can buy tickets online still. There's volunteer options. It's a really family-friendly festival, and it's great music. And I'll be around, just being a renegade and doing my thing. So try and find me, y'all.
That's what's up, man. You also, with your music, I checked out your Instagram, and it looks like you do a real good job getting involved with the community. How do people react? Because I saw some pictures of you, like, with the guitar, on the street just playing. Is that just something that you just spontaneously do one day, or is it, like, how does that, how you do that with getting the community involved?
Right. It goes back to doing what you love. That's another message that I have for the world. It's, just do what you love, be of service, and dedicate it all to something greater than yourself. And with music, I'll just spontaneously bust my guitar out, anytime I feel like it, and jam out with people, no matter who they are or where they've come from, So that's how I am. There's really no strict regimen on how things work. It's just, if it feels right, it feels right.
Do you have a favorite place that you traveled, whether it's recently or a while back? If so, where and why?
Shoots. I was in the Big Island in Pahoa, Puna area, right before the volcano hit. And the vibe there was on a whole new level. People were just singing medicine songs. People there were highly, quote, quote, conscious. And it was a good time. It seemed like we were on paradise, and everything was carefree. Fruits were growing out of trees. Houses were run off of solar and rain catchment. So it was really something. And I came there knowing no one, but left there knowing like a good amount of people who I call best friends. So it's just a really magical vortex that everyone needs to experience in their life at least once. But given the volcano blowing up and all, that might take some time.
And just kind of looking through your Instagram feed while we do this interview, multitasking, you have so much of just different places where you're with the guitar, and like there's photos of you playing guitar around horses, like different people, and like, man, you take this art real serious. What is it that really sparked your interest in creating music in the first place? Like, what really drove your passion?
Well, I think music saved my life many times growing up. And the variety, being gifted to play different genres of music and learning and being open. I also make hip hop beats and jazz beats, and I used to rap back in high school. But so it was really cool just being around different types of people. It's the culture within the music, and being able to express and create with someone that you never thought you would have become friends with. So it's just an open avenue for me to know and connect with people.
Who would have thought that they used to do hip hop, man?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Now, when it comes to what you're doing right now, would you ever find yourself maybe thinking you might spit some bars with what you're doing, or you just kind of have your own little separate thing now with your style?
Actually, the new album I'm working on, I've been creating more of a flow with it, spin some bars. But it's just ever evolving. I do plan on having an album in a specific genre. Like this album I have was more folk based. The next album I have would tend to be more of a funky, jazzy feel. And somewhere along the lines around my career, I'd love to have a hip hop album and create more beats. Creating beats is such a fun process, and yeah.
And which one do you like more? The making the beats, or is it just all together? It's like a mixture of everything.
It's the nature of everything. There's something to be said to playing, singing vocals, singing your heart out, playing a guitar. And then there's also that process of just so fun where you're just on a computer, on the keyboard, with the MPC, boom blap, and jamming out and bobbing your heads with some friends. It's great. It's all love. Yeah.
And you mentioned that music saved your life when you were younger, and everything you're doing seems like it's very positive, very like uplifting. What message would you give to people out there who may not have that same awareness as far as being positive and living life to the fullest? What words of wisdom based on your own life experience would you do to encourage people out there listening?
I encourage people to, I think for me also reading helped a lot in developing what I wanted to do with my life. So study other people's works, and you don't have to be so confined into a little bubble. Is my message, is that there is so much that the world and life has to offer you if you just open up your horizons and see that anything is possible. It's limitless. We are eternal souls just going through this process, and I think the gift of creation, everyone has a gift, I believe. Everyone has their art, their craft, and if you hone into that and just find what you love and stick to it, and there may be times of trial and tribulation. Lord knows I've had mine too, and still do, but it's that knowing that there's that sun behind that cloud that keeps me moving forward, and hopefully keeps everyone else moving forward. I'd say that everything that we experience is all temporary. So whether it be the depression, the sadness, and the happiness, it's all temporary. And just getting back to that state of who am I? What is holding everything together? What is this all about? Just ask the questions.
And speaking of this project that you have going on, tell us, where can we find it? And also, how can we continue to support you if you have any upcoming tour dates or events? I know you mentioned the festival earlier, but anything else in the future, like concerts that you might be having planned out? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. At the moment, I'll be at a High Sierra Music Festival, and then I'll be at Oregon Country Fair, up in, I think it's near Eugene, Oregon. So I'll be around there, not really having quite a set, but I like to do my own thing and just be renegade, be on the side, and just watch something grow out of nothing, basically. And you can find my music on iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Jamil Apostol. The album is called Off the Beaten Path. Find on my website, jamilapostol.com.
And before we let you go, man, we got a few minutes left. If you have a favorite song that you ever did, whether it's the first album, I believe, was it On the Road, the first album?
Oh, yeah, that was with my Reno group, the Bonfire Set, yeah.
There you go. Which would you call your favorite song if you have one, and why would that be the case? Why would you say so?
There's actually this one song that I wrote recently that's my favorite song. It's not out yet, but
It'll be coming out soon. I don't want you to spill the beans.
It'll be out on the next album. That's
there
the
you go.
teaser right there. But this song is called Follow the Drinking Gourd. And there's just so many layers, I feel like, of double entendres that once you dig deeper into the lyrics, it's not just surface level stuff. It's in my opinion, art. It's being able to describe something in three ways, that gives people the option to explore which way they want to take it. So that's what I like about this song. But I guess with the songs that are available right now, I really like Open Ticket Ride. That one's a fun one. It's kind of talks about my journey and process of traveling around the country from the coast of California to the coast of Carolina, and just trying to find myself in the process of what am I doing, and just saying, hey, I'm just going to let go and be free, and from the shackles of illusion that seem to bind me. And to, I guess the chorus goes, what is this life surrounded by light? And we're all just empty shadows dancing through the night on a one-way open ticket ride. So I thought those are really cool words that came out of me. I'm not the creator of all this. I'm just being an instrument of the instrument of the divine. So yeah.
That's pretty clever. I would say that's pretty clever what you just said. I almost had to process that again because, man, like everything you say, it has a purpose behind it. Like, you're not just filling up space. That's pretty neat. Now, when it comes to being an artist, and the bottom line, the fingerprint, the signature of a true artist is someone who can be themselves and allow people to just experience them. What's the best thing that you feel you have been doing thus far as just being that artist?
I think it's the live aspect. That's where I just spill my soul out in every single word and vibration and syllable that I sing. And to get everyone singing in song is such a beautiful feeling where we all just congregate together and sing as one, sing in one melody, sing in one rhythm. And I think that's, in a sense, unity right there. It just brings everything back together, and where we just forget about everything and we're just singing and dancing and having the time of our lives. That's what I feel like it's all about. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but
oh yeah, definitely.
That came out.
No, definitely. I mean, this whole show, I've been just kind of sensing the whole theme, just right from the beginning with your bio, how you want to inspire the masses of the people, and almost really to just inspire people to be amazing. Bottom line, yeah. Because the only way you can truly be amazing is if you be yourself, and the only way you can be yourself is if you can just appreciate people and be cool with people. Because it's not about the differences, it's really about, can we just be cool? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, art is art, and as long as you're creating that art, it's gonna be somebody that will appreciate that. Because if we all supposed to play jazz, that'd be kind of boring. If we was all supposed to rap, that'd be kind of boring. That's why it's pretty cool to have all these different styles of music. And for you being on the show, Mr. Jamil, appreciate your time. And
appreciate you, man.
And before we wrap this up, man, what's some last words you'd like to tell the audience? And if you have any shout outs, feel free to get some shout outs out.
All right, last words. Just be of service, be a good person, stay humble, stay vigilant, be a thing, be good at it. Shout outs. I'd like to thank my family and friends from Reno, Nevada crew to North Carolina crew to Hawaii crew. People who've been in my albums, the Goodwills from North Carolina, and the Bonfire set, mom, dad, friends of the friends of the friends, Bhakti Fest. Love you guys. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for having this awesome interview and podcast. Had a real hoot.
I appreciate that, man. And if you guys want to keep in touch with Jamil Apostol, how can they find you on social media again?
All right, so put that @ on there, and then Jamil Apostol Music, JamilApostolMusic, or just go to jamilapostol.com and you can find all my links on there.
That's what's up, Mr. Jamil. And like we always say before we close the broadcast every week, guys, keep God first, stay focused, and peace. And the show ain't over yet. I got one more last thing to say.
All right.
It's pretty cool what Jamil said on this show. And there's one thing I believe everybody in this world can agree on. And that is peace, respect, love. We have those three. Guess what? We ain't that different, y'all. So y'all stay cool. Y'all stay blessed. Follow my boy Jamil, man, and show him some love. Peace out, y'all.